Blackity black, blacker than black, black. I'm blacker than black, yo. Because I'm black and I'm back. Yo, I'm black and I'm black.
Chill. Hey. Y'all ain't know these shit. Ain't safe no more, fuck boy. No, they ain't safe, nigga. Ain't no motherfucking secret, nigga. Travel motherfucking die, nigga. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Mac Town. Lace them up, put them on, nigga. Ass, nigga. Chill. Slick puller, what's happening, nigga? USDA, nigga. I'm here. Hey.
You win some, you lose some. But you live. You live to fight another day.
Man.
All's fair in love and war.
Why are you backing out now?
I'm just saying we need to be careful.
We do whatever it takes for love.
You're not alone, okay?
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Nimes' YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we are back with another TV show review, and we are doing Power, Book 2, Ghost, Season 2, and the season finale, Love and War review. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. Like I said, I am doing a spoiler review, and I'm doing spoiler talk on Uncut-ish Talk Friday. Like I said, I'm supposed to have a couple more people there, and we're going to be doing a spoiler talk. No spoilers on this review, though. This is going to be a strictly review and opinion as far as how I felt about this season finale and how I felt like my expectations were and where I was surprised as far as the deaths or whatnot, because, of course, you knew we was going to get some deaths in this episode, so let's go ahead and get into it. TARIQ. Was TARIQ going to be able to get out of his situation or whatnot? We pretty much get the answer in this episode. It's good. It's a pretty good court case that we got going on as far as the dilemma he has dealing with him and just the situation as far as people testifying against him. And we do get somebody who ends up coming to the stand, which happens to be Brandon. I'm not going to say how this episode plays out. I'm not going to say what ends up happening as far as Brandon, but hey, it's a really, really, really good scene, and if you know what I'm talking about, then you understand. Like I said, it's going to be spoiler free. I'm going to do more as far as spoiler talk on Uncut-ish Talk Friday, but as far as everybody and the deaths, I was took off guard by at least one of the deaths. I think a lot of us was thinking, and I don't feel like this going. I feel like if I say that, they will be giving something away, but. If certain people, I'm going to say it like this, if certain people that I thought, and I think all of us as an audience member thought that was going to be ending up dead, that didn't die in this episode. And if you watch the episode, you already know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then you'll know once you watch it. But, yo, I feel like we definitely got a surprise death on here that I wasn't expecting. On the other end, it was one that I thought might happen, but I didn't want to happen. And once it did happen, I was like, but once it did happen, it was for a reason, and I was like, okay, because it ended up bringing in another character. I'm not going to say who that character is, but once you see this character, you will know absolutely who this character is once you see him. But we finally get some answers. Like I said, we got answers with Mecca, but we end up getting even more answers with Mecca, especially as far as people he was working for, as far as the government or whatnot, and certain person he was working for that was in the government. And now I wasn't even really seeing that coming. And like I said, once you see the episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you already watched the episode, you know who I'm talking about. So I really enjoyed that as far as Mecca go. Monet, and as far as Diane, Lorenzo and them and all of that, this whole plan, this whole scheme and everything they trying to do in this episode, it was like, damn, okay, I get what y'all doing or whatnot, but I don't know. It just seemed like they was trying to do too much, and it didn't seem necessary. And I'm trying to say it in a way we're not giving anything away. But once you watch the episode, you will know what I'm talking about. And if you have watched it, you know what I'm talking about. And I ain't gonna keep saying that. But it seemed like they were just trying to do. She was trying to do in particular too many moves that wasn't even necessary. And I think it was in point of trying to just drag the episode along. If you want to be honest, Kane in this episode, I honestly enjoyed him in this episode. Honestly, like, and I think as an audience member, if you watch the episode, you're going to know what I'm saying. Seeing him do what he do in this episode, and the particular scene he has with Drew, I really enjoyed it, man. And I almost had you cheering for Kane, like, okay, I'm with Kane. Like, come on, Kane, let's do this. I'm with Kane now, man. And almost a flip with Kane in this episode, honestly, because this whole plan and this whole thing they trying to come up with pretty much has everybody working together. And Lorenzo, damn, man, is it... I think some of us was almost like, yeah, man, we with Mecca. Come on, Mecca, man, you need to come through. Forget this nigga Lorenzo. Then you find out about this whole global cinch thing. Everybody like, well, we good, Lorenzo. Come on, Lorenzo. Come on, Lorenzo. But this episode is like, I don't know, man. I just enjoy Mecca as a character, and even with the whole global snitch thing, it was kind of interesting to see where they can go with it. Because him mentioning Lobos, him mentioning Ghost and whatnot, I'm like, okay, where else can we do with this or whatnot? Especially if you had this whole thing going on with TARIQ and him or whatnot. So that's what I'm saying as far as him as a character. But the whole thing with Lorenzo, you kind of see why certain things play out, and it's understandable why what they have going on and what they doing. But it's a certain scene with Lorenzo where he comes back to the house and talking to Diana, and it's like, nigga, why don't you just call and do this and the third? And it's like, he just like, nah, and then he out. And it's like they did this, I ain't gonna say this lazy writing, but it's like, y'all set this scene up for a certain death, and it's like, but the death was surprising. That's one thing I will say. But overall, as far as the season finale go, it's left with some unanswered questions. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, I don't care what nobody say. You have to show bodies when you come to these TV shows. If you don't show a body, if I don't see the death happen on screen, I feel like that person is definitely alive. I know what y'all gonna be saying. The whole thing with no, but we actually seen something physically happen to him. As far as Ghost choking that old buddy, when we was like, is he dead or is he not dead? I forgot that nigga name, but the one Tasha was smashing, the lawyer dude or whatnot. But she choked that nigga out. We seen that. But as far as Lauren, Effie just slapped her ass and threw her in the car. We did not see Effie kill her or whatnot. And even with the whole thing with Effie looking all guilty or whatnot, when she was sitting on the bed at the end of episode 9 with TARIQ, that was almost like a guilt of maybe she got some still. We still got to remember, Effie got a lot of mystery of her going on. And even with this season finale, I feel like we still don't get these certain answers with Effie. I'm telling you, man, I don't know if it's one thing, credit for the writers, Effie, she's still a mystery. She a big question mark, because is she a snitch herself? Is she working with a government organization or whatnot? Or is what's going on with her parents? Have we still, tell me in the comment section, am I missing something as far as have we seen Effie parents? Have we seen Effie parents? I'm just making sure. I'm asking my wife because she said something while I'm doing it. I'm like, man, am I missing something? What's going on with Effie parents? I'm telling you, it's going to be a huge or some type of connection with Tariq and them or whatnot. Surprises in this episode. It's not just deaths as far as surprises in this episode. It's certain appearances in this episode. There's surprises. Like I said, you have certain things going on with Mecca, and you end up finding who he was working with, and that's a surprise because, like I said, I don't want to give nothing away, but you're going to see familiar faces in this episode. Uncut Is Talk Friday, like I said, that spoiler talk, we're going to get into it. I actually enjoyed the people that we actually get to see in this episode. I thought it was reasonings, and I was like, thank you, finally. One thing I'm going to say, though, something happens in this episode where I was like, ain't I been saying, why did y'all do this a long time ago? Why did y'all do this a long time? And once you watch the episode, you know what I'm talking about. But one thing I will say, following Tariq, we all was sitting here like, oh, they're going to give Tariq his own series. They're going to do this in the third. But I got to admit, man, especially in this season, you have seen Tariq actually start to do certain things, or maybe even make certain sacrifices where you ain't even see Ghost doing. Ghost was a selfish nigga. Like, at the end of the day, that nigga was about Ghost. Don't get it twisted. I feel like he cared about his family, he cared about them, but he wouldn't make those certain sacrifices at the end of the day to still put himself in a position to make sure he's still gonna be good. I'm just saying, Tariq, especially in this episode, I feel like made certain decisions where it was like sacrifice. It's sacrifice, and that no matter how bad he wanted to do certain things or make certain things happen, he ended up making certain choices where it was a sacrifice, and that honestly kind of separates Tariq from Ghost. I gotta give him that. Not only that, shout out to Michael Rainey Jr. as an actor or whatnot. I do know his name as far as Tariq, but yeah. This is following Tariq as a character. Like I said, we was always looking at him as this spoiled, obnoxious little brat. Like, nigga, your daddy, yeah, he doing what he doing, but he still was there for you. He still in there. And I was just talking about this when I was did the recent episode of Uncut Is talking about episode 9 and whatnot, just talking about Tariq as a character. But actually following him in this episode, he still got some conniving ways about him. You got to think about the shit he was doing with Brandon, that line and shit. And like I said, that's why I always make those comparisons as far as Ghost and Tommy with Brandon and Tariq. Because even in this episode, you just see certain loyalty, certain things are being held down, and that was Tommy. That's the way Tommy would do certain things. But You also see the way Ghost would be conniving with certain things aligned, but he was saying he was doing it in the best interest of you, even though he was really doing it to make sure he was good. And you kind of see that with TARIQ with certain decisions, but you also see TARIQ in the way he has his love for his family. And that's one thing I always say, Ghost really loved his family. I say he cared about his family, but did he really love his family? Did he really though? I'm just saying, TARIQ makes certain decisions in this episode, and he makes certain sacrifices. I feel like he makes certain sacrifices that really kind of separates him from Ghost. But not only that, it actually makes you cheer for him as a character and say, okay, let's go. I'm ready to follow this character even more now. So that's one thing I'm going to give credit for as far as Power Book 2, the writers or whatnot, and what they doing with developing TARIQ as a character. And this is only going into season 2, and being that we're going into season 3, it's really going to be interesting to see the dynamics with everything he has going on, because once again, this is Ghost's son. He's going to find a way to find a way. But as we all know, these things don't end well. So that's the thing about it. You already know you trying to get out of something, you trying to do this and the third, it ain't gonna go that way. Davis and Saxe, man, you kind of see certain things going on with Saxe, man. And I feel like Saxe is kind of getting certain revelations where it felt like he is kind of starting to get to the point. And you, honestly, I'm going to give them credit because I feel like you understand. Because even with certain decisions he was making, it wasn't like he was a bad guy. The dude, you know how people was dying around this nigga, Angela and them, the bald-headed black dude, all these people that he died around that was working in the lawyer office or whatnot with him in the original Power whatnot. So you seeing certain things going on with him, and I think he's starting to see certain replays or getting these certain flashbacks or, oh, I done this before and I'm not trying to go down this road again. And I think he's starting to see those certain things, especially with him working with Davis. Speaking of Davis, man, I am really, really interested to see, because it seems like he has some type of thing he working on as far as with Saxe. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Maybe I'm a little lost on that, but he got some type of plan he got going on to help get his brother out as far as Redman. Shout out to Redman. Every time Davis, as far as Method Man's character and Redman and the scene together, you see this whole flip with Method Man's character as far as the way he starts to bring out a certain emotion with him, in my opinion. You see how he just this real slimy, sleazy lawyer or whatnot when he doing what he doing as far as getting TARIQ off or whatnot, and what he did with Professor Milgram or whatnot. But anytime he's in these scenes with Redman character, as far as Redman playing his brother, you always see the way he started to switch these certain things up. And I want to give shout out to Method Man as an actor. Like I said, he had these certain moments when I'm like, damn, Method Man, you can chill a little bit as far as his heaviness on the lawyer sleaziness and as far as the acting. But in these moments with Redman, like I said, that's that chemistry him and Redman got. You see the way he starts to change it around, and now I'm joining him as Davis as a character and the way he's able to do that. So it's very, very interesting, and I hope we get to see Redman in the next season, which I'm thinking we are. But it's really, really interesting to see where they're going to go with this, and it's really, really interesting still to see the mystery behind Method Man's character Davis, because he has some type of thing where, of course, we feel like Redman made some type of sacrifice to go behind the wall for him, because you keep hearing Redman's character say, I'm good, I don't want you to end up with me or whatnot. So it's something definitely going on with Davis. But out of all everything, man, as far as I feel like Diane had a couple things to do with this episode. Like I said, we're gonna get more to it, spoiler talk with her, with Diane and Drew, man. Like Bob and Weave, I feel like Drew had these moments where you think that this nigga is a beast, he doing this thing, but damn, in this episode he had these certain moments, and that's once again shout out to Kane, where I feel like, damn, Drew, come on, nigga, you got these, like you supposed to be beast mode. I'm just saying, man. Shout out to Kane, man. I don't want to get spoilers away, but you had this certain moment here where I was like, hey, this might be it. This might be over. And you thinking it was going to be this character, but it was this other character. But, like I said, say that for spoiler talk. Overall, as far as season finale, this was a good one. I really enjoyed this one. I did. Like I said, especially with the surprises, not only with the deaths, but the surprise appearances we get from certain people in this episode. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I wish we could have got more with certain characters, and I know we probably not. And even with other characters, I know we definitely not going to get no more with them because they gone. But overall, like I said, TARIQ and following him as a character, overall, as far as Power Book 2 go, I'm really starting, like I said, I'm rooting for him now. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, he done some shit where, of course, he ain't going to be able to come back from. And like I said, more than 9 times out of 10, it's probably not going to end too well for him. Like I said, it didn't end well for Ghost. It didn't end well for nobody else. Well, Tommy's still out here doing what he do. I'm just saying, though, overall, I still am very interested to see where his story is going to go. And I think the writers have done a good job as far as giving us a reason to want to follow TARIQ as a character or whatnot. But y'all let me know in the comment section, how did y'all feel about this season finale of Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2 Love and War? Did y'all feel like it lived up to the expectations that y'all had for it? Did y'all feel like y'all are very hyped going into Season 3? Let me know in the comment section if you have not watched it. Do you plan on watching it? Do you plan on going as far as season finale, as far as the spoilers or whatnot? Avoiding spoilers. This is a spoiler-free review. You're more than welcome to jump in here and check mine out if you have not watched it yet to find out if it's good or not. I definitely enjoyed it. As far as my opinion, it is a good episode. Like I said, overall though, y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel as far as Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2, the season finale. How y'all feeling about it? If you have watched it or if you haven't watched it, let me know in the comment section. Like I said, Friday, a new episode of Uncut Ish Talk. We're going to be talking spoilers as far as Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Book 4 Force. Definitely tune in Friday, 9 p.m. Overall, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is the road to 400 subs. Shout out to all my new subscribers and shout out to everybody who's been checking out my videos, man. We out.
We do whatever it takes for power.
It's him or me, Kane.
After this, you ain't never gonna be the same.
I don't feel comfortable unless I know I went above and beyond with my preparation. The things that possibly could happen, if I ain't take real steps to prevent those things, I'm not comfortable. I can't walk around, you know, charismatic and happy. Nah, I gotta make sure, you know, we setting up some type of wealth, because